Hey everybody, it's Mr. Loose, and your technique of the week is alternate shading. So this week I'm going to show you 4 different techniques on how to add shading to your drawings to give them more dimension and make them not look flat. So as a refresher, shading, or also known as value, is an element of art, and the elements of art are the ABCs for making and understanding art. Now, value or shading comes in handy when you want to turn your two-dimensional drawing to make it look not flat, right? To make it have a sense of space, to give us the idea that there is light in the room and that the object that you drew, that even though in real life it's a flat drawing, that it is interacting with that light and creating this realistic looking photo. Okay, so we know that this is the highlight, right? Because it is being directly hit by the light, because it's the lightest of the whole bowl. But then we also have the shadow. Okay, we also have the shadow over here. It's the furthest away. And there might be light over here too that's causing this little reflection going on, okay? Because it is lighter on the back side of the bowl, as you can see on the table. All right, so that's really cool. The way that we draw and shade in our pictures can create a sense of depth to make something look real, right? This is just a flat two-dimensional drawing of a bowl, but if I shade it the proper way, it looks like I could actually like pick it. Okay, so that's shading, just a little refresher. So other ways to do it versus just coloring back and forth or blending in with your finger is you can do it with stippling, which is where you get your pencil and all you're doing is going tuck 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 like that. And the closer together you do the stippling, the darker it will be, and the further away you do the stippling, the lighter it will be. So anywhere you want to do the shadows, you'll just do more of them together. Okay, but if you want it to be lighter, you just do the stipples further away. Okay, so stippling is one great way to do shading. Another great way to do shading is with a contour line. And a contour line is simply just drawing lines. Okay, and you're just drawing them. And same thing as the stippling, the more you do and the closer together, the darker it'll be, the further away, the lighter it will be. All right, and this is kind of cool. It's different. It gives it a much more graphic look, right? These are things that you might see in illustrations or in comic books, even in like anime or manga. Like you would see this, like a lot of these styles of alternate shading versus a much more traditional method like that. Next, we have cross-hatching, and cross-hatching is where you just have lines that interact with each other like this. The lines are going in one direction, and then you have them going the opposite direction, creating like a crisscross, or like little hashtags. And the closer you do the lines, and the less white space in between, the darker, the further away, the lighter it gets. So you can see how I did that on the can of soup. Okay, and then for the last shade technique is you can do something called squiggly lines. So you're just drawing a bunch of like curly, swirly lines. They kind of look like smoke or fumes. Okay, and you do those closer together. Again, it will appear darker. Further apart, it'll make it look lighter. But it also gives a sense of movement. So you see how much more interesting these are, and they still are doing the same thing that this is doing, but they're not as smooth and even like this. It gives this a lot more visual texture and a little bit more graphic of a look, like something you might see in a comic or a manga. So I think that's really exciting. So I want y'all to go out and try this, and yeah,